in this position, it's white to move. And first we look for checks, and I'm pretty sure that there aren't any checks since, well, Black's king is pretty well protected. The second, we look for captures, and we have two reasonable captures, also the only captures that we have, which is our knight taking the knight, or Black's bishop. Now, and you can also see that it's going to help us lead to the right move, that if our knight dares moves, that means that our queen will then be pinning Black's queen. So let's say our knight moves, let's say the knight, let's say to f3, that means that now our queen is pinning this d pawn. So that means that if we take Black's bishop like that, that means, well, we're undefending the queen, which means that's a real pin. And let's say Black takes back, let's say with the pawn. Now we can use this pin, since that means a pin means that the other piece can't move unless or else something bad will happen. And sure enough, that piece does move. Black's queen will be a goner. So we can take advantage of the fact that this pawn can't move by thinking, okay, this knight looks defended by this pawn, right? But the problem is this pawn can't move, which means if we take this knight, since this pawn can't move, if it takes our rook, so our rook taking the knight might seem pretty crazy, right? So it looks like we're just sacrificing a rook for a bishop, a rook for a knight. But really, if Black dares take our rook, and then of course it's a pin, we take Black's queen, meaning Black can't exactly take back, and Black has to resign, which is what they did in the game. And if you saw what happens if Black's queen takes back with Black queen takes back our knight, well, now the queen walked into a second pin, and again this pawn can't move, which means we can still use a rook and take the knight, and well, this pawn again can't move, and if it takes our rook, again we capture the queen, and once he takes back, we are again ahead on material. And this move, bishop takes d5, if you saw that, isn't as powerful, but while it's still winning, since I guess Black could just try to keep that, but well, we capture the queen and he captures us. After the trade, we are still winning, and of course the more smart move for him would just be to move his queen, say here, and even though it's just a pawn, later on you see that when you're a better chess player, pawn can actually be a whole lot of material, and totally you can definitely win with an extra advantage of the pawn. So if you saw that, pretty good, but that's not the winning move. So our strategy is to just simply take the bishop, doesn't matter what Black does, and we then simply take the knight.